Move it over a little bit. See what that does. Kind of centered everything up a little bit, maybe. Morning, everybody. Trying to get this camera leveled up. Y'all be patient with me just a second. Maybe that's better. Try that right there. I'm gonna keep trying until we get it right. Maybe that'll work. Hope y'all doing all right this morning. I slept in. Just now getting up to dress fish. Somebody throw a comment on there. Let me make sure everything's working right. I think I got comments turned on. Oh, it's working. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, D&D Pelleting Solutions. Thank you. Morning, Chris. Got a few catfish to clean this morning. Got yesterday's net run, and I got a few accidental catch channel cats to clean that I caught in a wire net yesterday. We had one wire net out. We put out trying to catch some mudcats actually for an upcoming video. See how that goes. But I'm gonna do a few of these smaller channel cats as whole fries. May fillet some of the bigger ones. But we got a few nice flatheads. We didn't have that much in our nets yesterday. The river jumped up about, I don't know, 5 or 6 feet this last week. All the rain, and it pushed our fish a little bit. We caught good the week before. We didn't have quite as much yesterday. Had a bunch of gaspergoo yesterday. I ain't never seen that many gaspergoo. We had 3 nets loaded down with them. I'm not sure why we caught them and not the catfish, but we had 4 flatheads and 5. We threw one small one back. Here in Louisiana, they got to be 14 inches, but we just don't keep that smaller ones anyways on flatheads. Let them go, let them grow. Make for a bigger one next year. Finally got the weather to clear a little bit. Looks like we're gonna have some pretty weather here in Louisiana for the next 5 or 6 days, maybe a week, hopefully a week. Cool snap yesterday, but it's that's supposed to be warming back up too, which is what we need to get the fish moving. We need the brim to move where we can catch some brim to go on some limb lines and bank poles and stuff, ready to get after them big flatheads. They fixing to start moving. They coming in shallower right now, getting ready to do their thing. We don't have no bait. Painting jig heads. That sounds like fun. That's always something I like to do. Something I'm gonna try to set up on some lives too. Painting jig heads and tying jigs. Hit the like button. Yeah. Tell them, girl. Have you tied a bluegill jig? I've caught a bunch of bluegills on jigs I've tied, so I'm not sure. Let me see if I can raise this up. Just like it's cutting the top of my hat off a little bit. I don't know what you really call tying a bluegill jig. You know, that's a good question. I catch a lot of brim on like just straight black beetle spins and stuff. Just little black grubs. I don't know, black just seems to be a real good color, or white at times. I like those white with a red dot beetle spins. So I kind of wonder on tying jigs if you could tie something kind of mimic those, and maybe even put it on there with a little spinner. I bet it would do pretty good. Still gonna work on getting something eventually, I guess, to where I can see these comments better than just playing them on my phone while we're recording these lives. I'm gonna have to get my secretary to work on that. Or Dylan one. Somebody more technologically advanced than I am. Knock a few of these channel cats up. We'll get some of them bigger blues and flatheads up here. Let y'all get a peek at them in a few minutes. We got some pretty ones. We ain't caught no real big flatheads yet, but we got some of the better eating ones. Them 6, 7, 10 pounders, 12 pounders. That's kind of what we've been catching. We've had a few up around 20. Earlier in the year. Just not catching no real big ones yet. They still a little lethargic. That river water's still kind of cool right now. The lakes and stuff's warming up, so all that's fixing to get better. Better fishing in the lake. I noticed something going back and looking at these. I seen part of that comment, something about good sized catfish. These here ain't that big, but the flatheads and stuff we've been catching are pretty good. These are just some small channel cats that come out of the lake here local. Best eating ones there is, though, in my opinion. Post a picture of the 1/16 jig. Yeah, I wished you had to go on our Facebook. You can post it if you're not in our group. I don't know how I might have to find out how we may if you comment on one of my posts on Facebook or something, you can post it on there, and I'll link you up to our group. We got a private group. We started that group private. I wish we would have started it as a public group. I've been thinking about changing that to where anybody could go and find that group, but I don't know how we're gonna have to look into how we're gonna do that. Start some kind of community page on Facebook, maybe. Because YouTube won't really let us post, or won't let y'all get on there in the comment section and post pictures. I wish they would. I'm not sure why that is. I guess some type of protection, I guess. Yeah, I really need a way to read these comments better than what we got. I had to get an iPad or something to set it up for, just for doing that. But we can do that too in time. It's all in the learning process of doing these lives and stuff. I notice in some people's lives, I'm not the only one squinting at the screen trying to read the stuff as it pops up on here and on TikTok. Got a bunch of hogs showed up in the last couple of days. I wish them comments would stay up longer. I'm not a fast reader, and I guess my eyes are going bad too. I do find with the short comments, them long ones, I have trouble getting it all read. Smaller gills for catfish bait. What's up, Adrenaline Turkey Calls? You ain't on a big gobbler this morning? Should be. They don't work your life away. Yeah, biggest was 62-pound blue. That's a big blue. Biggest blue I've caught is 51, I think, in the river. Yeah. When I first started fishing a lot, like as a teenager, trot lines and stuff like that, I used the small, I used to like the green sunfish. We call them branch slicks, or I don't know, the little slick perch. Them things stay alive better than bluegills, and that was always my favorite trot line bait, because they was normally 2, 3, 4 inches long at the most. You catch some big ones every once in a while. Yeah, in a log truck, I hear you gobbling a sandwich down. Heard that. You're gonna have to take some time off of driving log trucks to come up and go fishing, is all I can tell you. Yeah, I used to use them small bluegills and slick perch, I call them, green sunfish, what I'm talking about. I used to use them a lot when I was younger. And I'm gonna tell you, we've learned with these, and they are probably better for you 3 to I don't know, 10-pound flatheads and stuff. But the more we're using these bank poles and stuff, man, we're really liking the biggest bait we can get. And I don't know, I guess we do that kind of for the sport of it or whatever, but you know, everybody wants to catch a big fish, and we're the same way. But them bigger fish, They like a big bluegill. They're crazy about them. I iced these fish down yesterday. Yeah, they ain't all flopping around. They're a lot easier to clean like it. But I'm going to tell y'all, the hard thing about cleaning these fish that's iced down is they just going to leave a little bit of skin on them. But that's what they make more catfish skinners for, and we can get that off of there. No problem. Them little fillets right there, we all time getting them why y'all keep them little fish comments. I mean, them you eat in the catfish in the restaurant, they ain't no bigger. That's the best eating size right here. And these are wild caught, so they taste better than a pond raised fish, hands down. And them comments leave too fast. YouTube's so worried about what I'm gonna do or say. I sure wish they would work on that comment section a little bit. Leave it up. Just let them go up where you can read them. I know y'all can't see that, but them comments stay up for like 5 seconds and they're gone for 30. And then they come back and they done, you know, if you go getting a lot of comments, it would be trouble to read them. But I do appreciate y'all commenting. My Facebook is just Bradley Smith. If you search, I think if you search probably Bradley Smith GC, which is for God's Country, so it'd be GC Outdoors Adventures. The Facebook name God's Country Hunting and Fishing was already taken, so I cannot get that name on Facebook. But if you search Bradley Smith GC Outdoors Adventures, I think you'll find me. Or maybe just GC Outdoors Adventures, it may pop up. So I added that in on our profile. We wanted God's Country Hunting and Fishing Facebook to go along with the channel. That would have been easy because you could have just searched that on Facebook. But life just don't seem to be that easy sometimes. Search at GC Outdoors Adventures on Facebook and see if that finds me, and let me know if you can in the comment section. That way I know. A lot of our stuff is listed as, like on Instagram, we're GC Outdoors Adventures. So if you search God's Country Hunting and Fishing or GC Outdoors Adventures, you'll get some of those other social media. So that did work, Lone Wolf. GC Outdoors Adventures worked. Is that what you're telling me? Thank you. Appreciate that. Now I know what to tell everybody. You'd think by now, 5 years into doing this, we'd be a little further along on how we're getting all that taken care of. Keep keeping it real. Oh, that's all it's gonna ever be is real. Yeah, that's all we know is real. It's just the way we gonna roll with it. It'll be a little rough around the edges. Yeah, you're full of it too. It's got its advantages, Travis. It's got some weeks it's good, some weeks you have some good weeks, sometimes you have some bad ones. Hey, but somebody's got to keep the lights on. I guarantee you one thing: if it quits running, they gonna call. Yeah, she don't know what she's talking about either. Y'all see Bayou Bell Outdoors on there. Y'all go over to her channel, subscribe. That's Bayou Bell Outdoors. It's Danielle's channel. She got some of the same stuff, but it's some different content, some little different touch on the things over there. She kind of does that her way over there. I just get to be a guest every once in a while. I'm just glad we can entertain y'all while y'all sitting in log trucks and at work and stuff. Or turkey hunting, whatever it is. I don't know, turkey hunting's fell off from what it used to be. I know there's still some hardcore turkey hunters, but there's a lot of turkey hunters that don't turkey hunt no more, including myself. I don't know. Our stuff in Arkansas, I just feel like now they've moved it so far back till it opens way too late. I think it opens the 21st up there this year, and that's crazy to me. What electric knife? We get a lot of questions about that. I think Black & Decker ought to sponsor us, to be honest about it. It's just a Black & Decker. I can't remember what model that is. Danielle may comment on that. Trying to see. It don't say what model that is. I'm sure it said on the box. Just a Black & Decker electric knife. They're not really listed as a fillet knife, but they work great. I've noticed a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube have started using these. Probably because they work good. They're pretty durable. They hold up. You'll get a lot of fish filleted with one of these. And they're cheap. They only run about $15 or $20 on Amazon or at Walmart or wherever. But that's one of the. I mean, I'm not advertising for them because we get nothing out of it. That Louisiana Life coming back to visit. You need to ask them that. Tell them to get on the ball. Tell them it's time to catch some catfish. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna come back to visit. We'll probably end up down there too before too long. Just really right now waiting on something to break loose. Crab go to running, shrimp, fish go to biting, something. I was gonna go down there last month and it I'm not gonna say fell through, but the fishing was better up here at the time. So yeah, y'all can expect more out of us and them in some videos. I'm sure we become pretty good friends over the last year, so y'all can look forward to that. I seen that, Glenn. I'm trying to read the whole post, Glenn. Maybe it'll pop back up in a second. You know how this stuff goes. They don't give us enough time to read them comments. And then by the time comment does come up, I'm looking down at a fish, so I miss half the time that it's up. Y'all notice I'm cutting down in that belly on each one of these channel cats. That's something you should do if you're throwing these back in the water. I can actually throw these in my pond and they'll sink. Don't let them be floating around the lake or whatever body of water you're on. Once you get done dressing these fish, pop that air bladder so they sink. Just a better look for us all, y'all know. My tip of the day, maybe. Unless I come up with another one. Some water headed our way? Yeah, I bet we do. The river I'm gonna tell you, Glenn, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was gonna be. Hey fella, Redline Outdoors, you awake? He's got that schedule I got. If y'all hadn't ever seen Redline Outdoors, y'all go check him out too. Oh, Adam over there, he's alright, dude. Y'all see him in some of our stuff. Y'all go over there and subscribe to his channel if you ain't already. I know some of you are. Try to keep these guys in a network. Raised Outdoors. Y'all go over there and subscribe to their channel. Most of these YouTube channels try to help each other out as much as possible. So it's all about the outdoors. If you're not a YouTube channel and you like supporting outdoors, support these channels, guys, gals, kids. I don't think kids can watch this, but because of the button I had to click, but that's fine. Well, I mean, some of it's coming down. It probably hadn't made it yet, but oh, I'm sure it's coming, no doubt. It jumped. We had, let's see, this was a 5-day net run yesterday. Me and Danielle went and run them, and I'm gonna say it jumped probably 4 foot in 5 days. So, I mean, we had some rain down here. Everything down here is high too. Darbone's probably 1.5 to 2 foot high right now. Of course, I'm sure they'll pull the plug on it and it'll fall out within a day, I imagine, the way that goes. Don't get me started on that one, y'all. But, yeah. Here in northeast Arkansas, still can't. Yeah, it's gonna be rough for a few days, but I don't see no rain in the forecast. Unless y'all see something different what I'm seeing. That's our, I guess if anything, that's our relief is. Yeah, I've heard several buddies of mine in Arkansas said they're out of the banks up there. We're not even close to out of the banks, which the river's a lot wider down here. Yeah, we're I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If I could catch some bait this week, the bank poling could be just right down here, cause it's below the bank, but we still got a little bit of high water. It's high, so we got a lot of steep banks right now. We'd have a lot of places to fish bank poles right now, but I'm sure it's probably gonna, water's probably gonna come up a little bit too before the weekend. These fish are just now fixing to start running, and y'all know I guess I done forgot how to catch a buffalo. Me and Danielle moved one of our nets that didn't do that good yesterday just to somewhere I hadn't fished in probably 30 years since I put a net in that spot, because of the level of, I've been so used to fishing a high river level this time of the year and loading up on buffalo, or at least catching all we wanted, to this year it's been so low that it took me off my game. I don't know. I just ain't found those low sets like I know the high sets. So we trying a new spot or a different spot on the edge of a sandbar, and I used to catch some buffalo there. We're gonna see if we can catch a mess of buffalo. I was wanting some fresh buffalo. See what happens on this next net run. Trying to clean up. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna probably, I don't know. I mean, Central Arkansas got a lot of Cypress Creek Outdoors. Appreciate it. South Arkansas got a lot of rain too. I'm almost scared. I thought about going up. I got to work tonight, but I thought about going up to the club. I'm almost scared to go up there today and find out what kind of damage my hog trap's taking. We don't have a camera down there, and I'm pretty sure we just lost another $600-700 hog trap controller. Water gets on those phones, they're trash. We've had one water got up into last year before last, and I'm afraid we just lost another one. So that's a little bit frustrating, but they're kind of outdated anyway, so we may be changing our cell phone gates up a little bit. Need a hog trap sponsor, that's what we need. You'd think as many hog trapping videos as we do, somebody jump on board. But we are not sponsored by any hog trap companies. Finally get a pretty day, a break in the weather. And I know everybody's back at work today, so me, I'm dressing fish. New to the channel, where are you fishing at? Dwight Clark. We're fishing, we're in North Louisiana. Most of our fish comes out of Lake D'Arbonne or the Ouachita River. That said, we do a lot of traveling, especially on our crappie fishing. I'll have to check that out, Lone Wolf, on the videos. Yeah, we do travel on some crappie fishing and stuff. May eventually travel on some catfishing and stuff. A lot of our, I mean, we're right here in the heart of a lot of good fishing here in north central Louisiana. So we're 7-8 miles from D'Arbonne and 10 or 12 miles from the Ouachita River. So that's where a lot of our fish comes from. These small channel cats come out of D'Arbonne. That's kind of where we get our small channel cats from. I'm making a mess out of these fillets, trying to get the rest of the skin off. They're gonna eat the same. A lot of our bigger fish come out of the river, buffalo, flatheads and stuff. That's what I'm fisting to clean. If you just joined, I got some flatheads we're fisting to throw up here on the table, and some blues. I just had these small channel cats also from trying to catch some, trying to bring something a little different to the bank pole deal. Trying to catch some mudcats. So we baited up some spots, tried to catch some mudcats in the last few days to go in a bank pole fishing video. And we caught 6, we did catch 6 mudcats, so we got them. We got the 6 mudcats in a live well. And it's just the water's too cold. We hadn't caught no brim yet, so we gotta get on some brim, catch some of them for our bank pole fishing stuff, trot lines, whatever, limb lines, whatever we can get set out. But that's coming up here in the next week or two. Hoping to film one this weekend. Hoping to film a video this weekend. We'll see what happens. I may have to work the following weekend. It's supposed to be off, but they don't seem to think so. Kind of get tossed around like a rag doll sometimes. Y'all know how some of these places are you work. Go to work when you're told, not when you want to. Ours is a little bit different. You got a schedule, but it don't always go by the schedule. A lot of times you get voluntold. Trying to clean these smaller channel cat fillets up. I'm gonna get them out of the way before I throw them big fish up here and get them clean. Go on and bag these up, get them out of the way. That's my favorite right there, y'all. I had to fix me a couple of them. Try to catch mudcats and still catch fish to eat. Which we could eat some mudcats too. Y'all reckon how? I don't know if I've ever seen a video on YouTube about cleaning and eating a mudcat. Y'all ever seen anything like that? Wonder what the interest would be on something like that. Cause I can tell y'all, I've eaten plenty of them back in my poorer days. Cause my daddy's daddy didn't throw much of nothing away. He would clean and eat a bunch of mudcats. Yellow cats for you northern folks, or bullheads. I know they probably eat them up there in that colder water too. I've actually eat them on a grill before. You seen a few of those videos? Have a sweeter taste. Might have to do one of those videos. Yeah, the crappie was good last night. Cut up some old deer meat into. That was a long. Had trouble reading all that. Bought some peppermint oil. Single hook. Oh, hook a mudcat. I don't know. They ain't too hard to catch around here. We catch them a lot of times when we bring them fishing, but hadn't really targeted mudcat. But I do know some places where they could be targeted. Yeah, I still see a lot of, I mean, wasn't too many years ago I seen a lot of people yo-yo fishing, and they would save all their mudcats and eat them, especially in the wintertime. Mudcats, flathead bait, that's what I'm trying to do, Glenn. That's what we got a trap set for, trying to save up some mudcats to go on our first limb line video. I'm hearing some people, I was told yesterday that they work good early in the year, but they don't that good late in the year because they just won't stay alive. Y'all see how I do those channel cats? I put 3 cuts in the side of them. Maybe you can see it on this one better. 3 cuts on the side of them. One of them's right there behind the ribs, kind of slanted, and then I put another cut about halfway down and one closer to the tail. And I do that on both sides, and that's how I do my channel cat, my whole fry channel cats. So, works good. Might have to fry them up while Danielle's at work. What are we gonna eat? That's what I was just saying before I read that comment. I'm ready. I could eat all 6 of them channel cats right now, I'm sure. I'm positive of it. I probably shouldn't even worry about dating them. I ain't even sure what the date is. I know I turned that wrong. I'll probably just put the wrong date on that. But I know it's close. It's somewhere around April the 8th. Maybe later than that. Here old Subi down there, she's upset. Subi wants out all the time, but Subi's got a little problem. Subi sneaks off. Like, her instinct is to go in the woods and hunt. So she's really sneaky. Like you don't see her moving, and she acts really sluggish and slow all the time. Nothing's really wrong with her, it's just the way she is. Oh, I guessed that date right? Yeah, I didn't have a clue. I'm gonna be honest with you. But old Subi, Oakley, you can't run her off. She's standing right here, like she's an extra kneecap. But old Subi, and you take your eyes off of her, she'll be asleep 1 minute. Next minute you turn around, she's gone. And then she don't come back when you call her real good either. So she poses a little bit of a difficulty keeping up with her. Just don't want her getting out. I wouldn't care if she went and hunted if we had more woods and stuff. I just wouldn't want her getting snake bit or out in the road getting run over or something like that. I wouldn't like that at all. So we got to have a squirrel hunting dog for next year. Coon dog. We do have Peanut. I don't know if y'all seen Peanut or not. Hopefully y'all see some of her. She's up in Arkansas right now getting some training, and looks like she's doing a little bit. I don't know how good she's gonna be, but she is barking up tree and all now. She's only, I guess she's 8 or 9 months old now, so she ain't doing bad. Pretty happy with her progress, I guess. We'll see. I hadn't talked to him too much about her, but I've seen some videos where she is barking up a tree and all. She got a good mouth on her. Sounds good. Pretty loud, actually, to be a smaller dog like she's not a very big dog. Alright, we're going to throw some bigger ones up there. That's the smallest of the bigger ones. Old Blues. I know that's Glenn's favorite right there. He catches a lot of blues up there in North Arkansas. I'm just messing with him. I know he likes some flatheads too, but they do catch a lot of blues. Oh yeah, they're very good. I do. You'll see us on the ones this size. We threw some back at wasn't but a pound or two heavier than these right here yesterday. We threw some pretty good eating ones back. Just didn't need that many fish. And, you know, they get much bigger than that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't much fool with them. I'd rather just throw them back than I had waste them. Go getting into a lot of trimming. Bang, just starving to death. Flathead, your favorite? Yeah, I was messing with you, Glenn. I figured it was. Y'all do catch a lot of blues, though. We catch a lot up here, down here too. We throw a lot of blues back. Used to didn't. We used to keep all of them, but times change. My favorite really is them small channel cats I just dressed. I'd rather have them over flathead, to be honest about it. And that may just be because I've just caught that many flatheads over the years. I mean, I do like flathead, but I like that 5-6 pound flathead or smaller. We do throw them back under 14 inches, you know. Really throw them back under 16 or 18 inches, but I don't know, unless that's the only fish we catch or something, I just kind of feel like it's a little bit of a waste to keep those real small ones. Is that the rocket stove? Is that what you're talking about? How much wood it takes? I was trying to read the whole comment. I didn't get it all read. I'm struggling with that. Is that what you're talking about? The amount of wood in the rocket stove? I think that's what that comment was. What I'm gonna tell you the honest. I'll always be honest on this on that rocket stove. Now, that rocket stove is a fine little deal, and you can fry fish in it. But what you got to remember on frying fish or anything real hot is wood fire don't get as hot as propane fire. You know, if it's yellow or orange looking fire, it ain't gonna be as hot as a blue flame. So propane burns a lot hotter. So frying with that 4-inch rocket stove like we have, the small one, uh, you're gonna want to keep that fire hot as possible, and don't put a lot of oil in it. Basically, pan fry. You know, you could put half an inch to an inch to where when you drop your fillets in there, it comes up, and it will. We fried fish several times. We fried buffalo and everything on that 4-inch rocket stove. I think we fried probably 3 or 4 times on that thing, and it does do okay. But just don't put a lot of oil in there. One time we did it, and we said in the video we put too much oil in the little cast iron pot that we had, or it was a tall-sided skillet's what it was. But what I want is the bigger 6-inch rocket stove, and I think with it, I think you're gonna have enough flame. You won't have any problem heating a bigger pot up to fry fish. So I think eventually me and Danielle's gonna probably order either one of the kits or one of the bigger, the 6-inch one, and just try it. And we enjoy cooking on that thing so much. But I mean, I guess what I'm saying, if you don't have one and you're not wanting like a small mobile one for camping and stuff like that, just go on and buy the big one and be done with it. That's what I would do. Chess on Smoke, they sponsored us on that rocket stove, and we talked to them about it. They knew we was going to be doing a lot of camping and stuff like that, and they just recommended that one for being able to carry it around different places. And it's real true. Like we can throw it in the back of the truck, and you can take it apart and disassemble it and reassemble it. It's real easy for like a camping or outdoors type deal. We actually cooked on it last night. That'll be in this coming week's video. We cooked some. We did fish and grits again, but this time we did fried fish and grits. So that'll be crappie fried with in fish and grits. That'll be in this coming week's video. So yeah, and it cooks. And I'm gonna tell you, like the 4-inch one, really, anything that you have to like just sit there and you don't want like so much heat it's burning, but you want it good simmer or a good hot fire to keep cooking. Not really a low simmer, but a good medium heat. It's perfect for anything you're gonna cook like that. So cast iron on it does really well, really well. As far as the amount of wood, I'm chipping up ours, cutting it about the right length. I don't know if it's 9 or 10 inches long, whatever it is, about the right length. Is just a little shorter than a 5-gallon bucket. The width of a 5-gallon bucket is the perfect length. So if your wood is the length of the width of a 5-gallon bucket, it's perfect to go down in there. And we're just going ahead and pre-splitting it. That way it's dry good, and stacking it in a 5-gallon bucket. And you can cook 2 to 3 times with a 5-gallon bucket full of wood. So you're not talking about very much wood, and that's cooking like a meal. So I mean, and the thing about it, you don't have to build a fire and it come up to temp and all of that, and you know you're not waiting on ashes or coals to get hot like you would a barbecue. So you're waiting on a flame, and as soon as that flame gets high enough, you put your skillet on there, you start melting your butter, or your oil starts heating, or whatever you're cooking on. So thing cooks really well, and it honestly don't take a lot of wood. I mean, and if you don't want to cut firewood, what I would recommend, find somebody that'll sell some oak or cut you some and get it specially cut short enough, measure the stove and get it cut short enough that you can split it yourself into little pieces, and it'll do great. But I hadn't burned pine in it. We might start like a little bit or something like that with a little pine, but I hadn't. Everything we've been doing is oak. I just know oak burns hotter, or I've always heard that. So we've been using oak, and I think most of it's probably pin oak. Need some good red oaks, what you really need. But I'm just using what we had. Can't say enough about their product though. It is a nice little piece to cook out on a patio or porch or deck, or and you're not burning any propane. I mean, so if you got trees on your place or you can find some wood, half the time we using just limbs that fell down in the yard out of the oak tree. We'll break them up, a dead limb, and use those. I'll take the chainsaw and cut them up into smaller pieces. Sure is a pretty day today. Gotta run. Alright, appreciate it, Glenn. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, if you hadn't bought one already, and you're just gonna set it out on your porch and leave it there, you're not gonna carry it places or anything like that, I'm gonna say I would go with a 6-inch, but you know, you're probably not gonna be able to open it wide open. I don't know because I hadn't cooked on one yet, but I imagine it could get too hot on you too. You may have to play with the dampener and get it set, but to fry fish and all, I wouldn't think you could go wrong because you can kind of control how hot your temp is by how much oil you put in there, And if you use peanut oil in a big cast iron pot or something, you'll be able to cook 3, 4, 5 times before you even change the oil out, Or if you strain it and take care of it, maybe longer than that. We use a Cajun fryer. We've had one for years. And we use the 2-basket one. We use it to fry most of our fish in. And we don't change our oil out in it for like 6 months, 4 to 6 months. Been using peanut oil. We want to try lard. We've been experimenting a little bit with lard, cooking with it, due to the pushing health benefits on that kind of stuff, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It does taste a little different, but it's not bad. I know most of our grandparents and stuff cooked in lard for years, and they lived longer than most of the people's living now. So that's something to think about. I like to go ahead, I hadn't got the flatheads up here yet. I like to go ahead and just rinse these blues off before I trim them. Y'all can see there's a lot of red meat down that lateral line on those blues. I'm going to take that off. You ain't got to on them this big, but I think it makes for a better piece of fish if you do. My opinion. I can't do them for everybody else. This is for our personal taste. Maybe I ain't getting my phone wet. Probably am. That one ain't real bad there. You can see it ain't real bad. But I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. And all I do, I'll tell you what I might can do. Y'all don't need to see my pretty smiling face, because I don't smile much anyways. But I'm gonna turn that right down there, and that way y'all can see what I'm doing here. Maybe y'all can see that good. So you got your lateral line here. What I do is I'll come in here and take that lateral line out in kind of a triangle shaped section. From the outer, this is the outer side, and you'll see when I move that fillet out, look at there, there's no red meat left in that. So I took all that red meat out, and this will fry off. That's not bad there, so that's good. And look what we cut down to. You can see that's the center. So see if I flip this one over right here, what that is. You can see the center right here, and you can see I cut right to that center line right there. So I just took every bit of that red line out of there by making that cut right there. And I don't know, I'm right-handed. I know in the video it looks different. It looks left, I think, to y'all. But it's because I've got my phone turned around. But this is my right hand, and I do the same thing. I'm just going to take it at an angle, come right in there like that, and take that red line right off. And that is very little waste. But y'all look, I'm going to turn that all the way around. There is nothing but that red line and fat is all I removed. So yeah, we get the criticism on man, you wasting too much meat and all that. Bull hockey. Y'all see that fat up here? I'll take that off on the fatter pieces. There again, that's nothing but fat. That's not gonna taste any good. Same thing, I'll lay that one there where y'all can see it. Same thing here. Going right in there like that at an angle and taking that off. That's good meat. This little bit here is so thin it'll fry out. Nothing that bad on it. And that'll make you do that on a blue, and it's gonna make your meat so much better tasting that it's not even funny. If you've never done that on blues, highly recommend trying it. You're not really removing no meat. All that fat's gonna kind of fry out of there anyways. You're really not gonna have it anyways. You're taking out something that's gonna fry out, but it's gonna leave the taste in your meat. So get rid of it. Same thing, we don't have any fat up here on this one. All we got is the lateral line, because this was a little bit smaller blue. And it's not a real big, bright lateral line, so I'm not taking that much out of that one. And look, I feel that I left a little bone. You think, well, man, you're going way back on that fish. Y'all see right there, I left some rib on that one, so I didn't go back on it. Same thing here. I'll turn that one away. Come in there. Get that out of there. That's how we trim our blues right there. A little bit of skin left on that one. Kind of do this one real speed like. Big channel cat or blue, that's how you want to do them. Now this one's a little fatter. He's got a little bit of fat to him. A little red. That's why them bigger ones we go to throwing them back. Because you just end up trimming a lot off of them to get it down there to where it'll taste good. And to me, it's just a waste. You end up, I mean, yeah, you can trim it down and get good meat out of them. I'm not saying you can't. So if you want to keep a big blue, that's on you. I've kept them before. But it's just, it don't justify the amount of meat you get out of them if you're catching a lot of fish and you're not selling them or something like that. We are commercial, but we're not selling them, so this is just for us. That's why I'm throwing some back. Look there. Nothing wrong with that piece. Maybe I got it back where it was almost. Y'all know what? I missed one. I missed one blue. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I should have probably thrown this one back. Should have had, but I didn't. So he gets clean. I done washed these, so I am gonna go ahead and cut them up. I just cut them across the grain. Like you can see the grains running like in this away. So I'll come in here, make me a couple cuts like that across the grain. That's what you end up with. Ready for a fish fry. Y'all got quiet on me. I don't know. I'm gonna end up with some there. I'm gonna probably make this 2 smaller bags of blue. We're gonna get our flatheads up here and get them clean. That's gonna be a wrap. About time to go catch them brim. That's what we about to get after. Comments don't come up for a minute. When they do come up, I don't catch them. I'm watching now though. That time on them comments kills me, y'all. Oh, I can't read all that. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm not even sure what language that was in. We put water in the bag. And good morning. But we put water in the bag too. But I'll show you in a minute how we do it. Yeah, we'll put water in the bag. I'm just the reason I haven't put water in it right now is because I don't want that water to sit there. Yeah, afternoon. I'm not sure. I don't even know what time it is. It's getting close to afternoon. Uh, there was a couple questions on putting water in the bag. We do put water in the bag. We catch a lot of fish. I've been putting up fish for years. We do have vacuum sealers. And there's nothing against vacuum sealing by no means, but I don't think it's efficient the amount of fish that we put in the freezer. And I have no reason to believe that fish. Nice mess you got. Yeah, you just joined us. We done cleaned a good many, and we got 4 flatheads fixing to come up now on the table. Back on the water in the bag. I don't like my fish to just sit in water. I want to put some water in there, but I put just enough to get the air out of it, and then it's going straight to the freezer because I want it to freeze as quick as possible. That way the meat's not soaking up a bunch of water. In my opinion, that's not going to help your meat. Is that a Honda 300? Oh, I missed. Yeah, thank you, Danielle. I seen that. That is not a Honda 300. That's a Rubicon behind me right here. This is a 500. That's a 2004 Rubicon. Oldie but a goodie. I used to have a 300. 300s were the best ones ever made. We got a new one now. It's a new 500 Foreman or 520, I guess they are. But like it pretty good. We went away from all the electronic stuff on our new one. Morning, Colin. Yeah, we're back at it again. Yeah, electronic stuff, it's just too much. I think that was a question about keeping the belly. Why don't you take the belly meat? Well, on blues, I mean it's just not that good. I'm gonna be honest with you. If somebody wants the belly meat, more power to them on the blue. Now on our flatheads, we save all the belly meat, but on blues, especially bigger blues, that's just not that great of meat. Now, I mean, a lot of people keep it, and there's a lot of people that don't. We are not the only ones that don't keep belly meat off of blues. I can promise you that. That's why we don't keep a lot of blues. We throw a lot back, especially the bigger ones. Just don't. I don't have no market for the belly meat, and it's definitely not preferred to us on the blues. The smaller ones, no problem at all. That belly meat's fine. The bigger ones, to me, it gets tough, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of grainy or something. But that is, like I said, that's why we don't keep a lot of blues. We keep a few just to add some fish in the freezer. Oh yeah, those old 300s. We had a couple of them over the years, and man, I had one and I give it away, and I probably shouldn't have done that. You know, it was an older one, needed some work on it. I didn't have time to do the work on it. I probably should have done the work or hired it done and kept it, but I didn't, and probably regretted it ever since. But it's all good. We needed a bigger one. Me and Danielle use a 4-wheeler a lot in the hog trapping and hunting and stuff, and we'll both ride on there together a lot of times. We don't have a side by side, not yet. We'd like to have one, but in time, it's just they're expensive, and they're just getting higher by the day. And honestly, we just can't afford one yet at this point. So maybe one day we'll get us a side by side. Need one with all the hog trapping we do, but it'll come in time. Yeah, but for right now, I'm just putting the fish in the Ziploc bags, and then right when I get ready to go to the freezer, I'll add a little bit of water in it, squeeze all the air out of it, and as much water as I can get back out of the bags, and then we'll stack them in the freezer like that. And that's how we package them. But for right now, I've just got them where I can keep the table clean and bring the next fish on it. Got 4 flatheads left to clean. You'll see us take the belly meat off of them, of course. Thank you, Jeremiah. Sunday's video. Yeah, Sunday's video was okay. It did okay. It's doing okay. I don't know. They're all not. We try to keep it rolling, get the best content we can. I'm happy with some of them, and some of them I'm not happy with. I was happy with Sunday's video, but it's just early in the season. It's going to get a little bit better. Hopefully we'll get y'all some more exciting stuff this year. You never know when something good's going to happen. You get it on film. Thank you. On the flatheads, I'll just take that electric fillet knife and take the whole sides off all in one piece first. If y'all got any ideas on upcoming videos, y'all be sure to throw them on there. We're always looking for new ideas. I'm not saying if you suggest something we'll do it, but we may think about it, or it may trigger another idea. I'm gonna be making some traps and stuff to help us get live bait for our limb lines and stuff like that. Yeah, thinking about doing that in a video, so I'm not sure if we want to do that in a video or live. Y'all let me know what y'all think on that. How to make like a brim trap. May or may not be legal to use in your state. Our state, we can use them in our ponds. So, I know at times they may have looked at changing the laws on that some, freeing it up a little bit. But I know right now we can use them in ponds, in our own ponds. Have you ever eaten the eggs out of catfish? That's a good question. And we attempted to, for some reason, one of the guys at work one night, we were grilling, and he brought some flathead catfish eggs. And we was going to try to smoke or barbecue or grill or whatever you want to call it, those eggs. And I'm going to tell you, I haven't had them fried, but when those things come off of the grill, that was one of the most stinkingest things I've ever smelled in my life. And there was absolutely no way I was trying, because it literally smelled like a rotten chicken egg. And that's about the most worst thing I've ever smelled in my life, was rotten chicken egg. So the answer is no. Everybody's always saying, try to brim eggs, try to brim eggs. I'm gonna be honest, I had never tried them. But I'm open to trying to brim eggs fried, or crappie eggs or whatever. Maybe we should try that in a video. That'd be a good conversation piece in a video. Fried crappie eggs. But I can save you some trouble on grilling flathead catfish eggs. It don't work. I can't speak for fried. If if you've got an experience with them, eating them fried, you can let me know. That old boy that cooked them catfish eggs, he'll eat anything. I mean, I've seen him, like, he eat bobcat, stuff like that. Like, he would not eat those eggs. I caught about half of that last comment. When are you going to start something? Bank pole fishing? Oh yeah, that's... You come in there a little late, Jeremiah. We've been talking about that about half of the live. Very soon. All we're waiting on right now, of course, fish ain't going to be running wide open when we start. But all we're waiting on right now is being able to catch some bait. The water temps, the weather's been acting crazy. The fresh water and the temps. The brim was starting to bite last week. Water was warming up over 70 degrees. No, you're good. That's part of doing a live. A lot of people come on and I'll repeat stuff sometimes because you constantly got new people coming on. But as soon as we get some brim or bait, that's what the channel cats. You can go back and look the first of the live. I was dressing some channel cats. They were caught accidentally. We were trying to catch some mudcat for bank pole fishing. I'm gonna try to mark those up north. I know they use mudcats, or they call them yellow cats, or bullheads up there. A bullhead, catch, clean, cook. Yeah, I've been thinking. We thought about that one. But we would have to target. We would have to target some mudcats. I used to know an old creek. I got a creek. It's actually right here, close to my house. That my granddaddy used to go and set. He called it set hooks. He would take an old cane pole, switch cane, and make some set hooks with twine. And that's all he'd ever catch in that creek was a bunch of mudcats. He'd have 2 or 3 every morning. And I'd come in. I remember coming in from school and he'd still have them sitting on the porch in a 5-gallon bucket. They'd still be sitting there alive, you know. And he'd dress them things. He'd fry them up. That's what we knew when we come in from school. That's what we was eating for supper. Them old mudcats. That's just the way it was as a kid. We didn't ever know nothing no different. That's how we grew up. Brim in my pond. I've got a few, but I fool around, you know, when you're young and dumb, you do things like bass fish and stuff. I put some bass in my pond, and them things wipe the brim out. And now I wished I just had brim in my pond to catch to use for live bait. And yeah, I've drained it and everything else trying to get all them bass out of there several times. We catch them and don't throw them back in there or whatever, and it don't do no good. We still ain't never got rid of all them bass. They repopulate and they just wipe our brim out. We had copper-nosed bluegill put in that pond, and I don't know, they just never did. We got some brim in it, but I don't know. We do catch a few. Some of our live baits end up coming out of our pond. We'll go out there and we ain't got much time and fish there instead of going to the lake. We keep a live box out there with those brim in it. We can keep them out there several weeks and have them ready for the weekend of bank pole fishing or limb lining. Yeah, you talking about eating them in the spring, the bullheads? Yeah, I would imagine so. I think all fish are really better early spring, you know, better tasting. But you know, some fish we just don't catch a lot of, like brim and stuff, till later in the year. This was a pretty one right here, y'all. Dark colored, nice looking catfish. Probably 10, 12 pounds right there. Appreciate y'all joining us, or joining me. That 90 something people on here right now. I probably just, for no reason, tore my hand up sticking in that catfish mouth. I will say on the bank poles, we're gonna be fishing Opelousas bank poles this year. We'll have to, all of our older bank pole fishing videos from last year have the link, or you can Google Opelousas bank poles, but we'll drop those links in some videos also. If you go to their site, you're looking for some bank poles, and they're not on there right now, it's because they sold out and they've got bank poles ordered. They've got new blanks ordered. Should have some 8 and 10 foot bank poles coming. They offer a really nice system. If you ain't seen the bank poles that we use, y'all need to go back and check out those videos. We've got a couple on there from last year using those poles. They screw together like the 10 foot ones. Instead of having a 10 foot pole in your boat, you got 5 foot sections, and you screw them together. Take them apart, drive one end in the bank. It's real easy to just pull up there to the bank, drive it in. You can see us doing all that and showing how to set them up in the videos and all. Really neat bank pole. They work good. They're a heavier duty bank pole, so big fish ain't gonna pull them under the water where you can't see them and all that. We nearly lost a big fish last year because it was under the water and we couldn't find the bank pole. Just happened to hear it hit the bottom of the boat. The boat was actually on top of it, and that was on one of the bank poles I had made years ago. But since we went to these Opelousas bank poles, really liking them. They work good. Y'all check them out. Mr. Dusty Jesters. But if you got any questions about the bank poles or ordering some, or I'm not sure, maybe he'll save you some when they come in or get back with you. His phone number's on the website, and if you look it up, it's spelled O-P-E. Opelousas, but it's O-P-E-L. Kind of like Opelousas, Louisiana is how it's spelled. But the link is in our older videos, by the way. Is Mudcat and Bullhead the same thing? As far as I know, it is. It's all I've ever heard them. In the South, all we've ever called them was Mudcats. I didn't even know what a bullhead was, but if you look it up in the online or in a dictionary or whatever, it's actually a bullhead is what it's actually called. So up north, northern states, that's what they call it, a bullhead. But it's the same thing. They look to, I've seen some videos where they catch them up north and they look to get bigger up there. Like, I'm not sure the size they get up there, but I do know early on when I was looking at bank pole fishing, we was doing a little research trying to try that out, because we'd always limb line and trot line fish for years. And I'm ashamed I don't have a trot line video on here. What y'all think about that? Do I need to go do that? Probably should. But 5 years in, I used to trot line fish all the time, and we don't have not one single trot line video on here, on our whole channel. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I'm a little disappointed myself in it. We've had plenty of time to go and do that, but that might be one we do pretty soon too. Just waiting on the water to get right, the river conditions and all. But it's about there. We could do a trot line probably right now. If we don't end up with limb line bait or bank pole bait, limb line bait this weekend, we may do trot line this weekend. Yellow bellies, yeah. And man, I've caught some little bitty ones I would love to have for bait. That's what we really was after in our wire net this week, and we ended up catching one little one, and the rest we caught. I got 6 in the live well now. Lots of folks here call them pollywogs, polycat. That's right, yeah. I've heard that term, pollywogs, but I didn't really realize what they was referring to be honest about it. Now I know something. Learn something new every day. I should have known that. But we do have some ponds and stuff, and the lake's got a lot of mudcats in the areas, and that's what we're trying to come up with, that just for something different for bait, to use it. Just see if we catch some big flatheads or something. I know up north, that's like a bait of choice up there for big flatheads. I don't know if that's seasonal, if that's a certain time of the year. I know one of my friends told me yesterday that it'd be better to go earlier in the year with the mudcats because they'll die in the summertime. So I imagine a flathead would eat them any time of the year. Y'all can let me know what y'all think on that. I know last year we caught a 45-pound flathead in a net, and he had about 5-pound blue in his belly that he had ate. So that was pretty interesting. That's the biggest fish I've ever seen inside of a flathead, and it was, I'm telling y'all, a 5-pound blue. It was a big blue. Y'all can see on these flatheads, all I'm doing is just coming in here right below the ribs, going right with the rib contour. Take that belly meat off, and we'll pull this skin off of them here in a minute. And then I go back to the outside of the ribs and follow that contour down that rib line, just take those ribs out of it. So we should fry that up. Well, there's about half of that's red meat. I don't know. If you want to eat them ribs, you can, but I'm not saving them. You ain't getting much there. I guess if we had one and we was hungry and there's a bunch of people eating, we probably wouldn't throw them away. Y'all see that red meat in there? That ain't much to that. Not in my opinion. So trot lines and a mudcat catch, cook, and clean. I'd put them two on my list of to-dos. If we do the mudcat catch, cook, and clean, we're going to have to go target mudcats. I do know a couple places where there's a lot of mudcats, so that is very possible to do. Always taught them. Yep. Oh, YouTube quickness got me again on that one. I'm trying to read them, y'all. What are you doing? Just sitting there? Oakley, she's sitting there just waiting on a snack, I guess. One thing about her, she's patient. Nat don't even want to pop back up. That comment, I was trying to read it. There it is. Well, yeah, the V-tail, I don't know about that. Flathead's tail ain't much of a V. They ain't round. I mean, they're kind of round, almost like a mudcat. Is that a hickory knife? Fish fry video? We about got a fish fry video in every one of our videos. No, that's not a hickory. That's just a knife from Chicago Cutlery. I think it's got a tag here. Maybe y'all can see that. See if y'all can. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Can y'all see that? It's got their little logo right there. I don't know. Maybe y'all can see that. Chicago Cutlery. They're cheap. Pretty good stainless knife. We use them for like deboning and stuff. You have to hit them with a steel every once in a while, you know. But for the most part, they're a pretty good knife all around the kitchen, cutting up fish, stuff like that. I like a lot of your others, like Dexter Russell and some of those others too. But they're not a bad knife for the price. They're only, I'm not even sure if they still make these. I bought a bunch of them up, but I think they do. I think you can get them maybe on Amazon or eBay. It's Chicago Cutlery. I think it's a 6-inch. Yeah. Danielle ordered these years ago off it. I think I don't know if it's Amazon. I think eBay. But I think they still may put those knives out. They're only 15 or 20 bucks, but they last. I mean, when I did taxidermy work, I used to use those to do my fleshing with. I actually still do. I use one of those to flesh with. So they're that good. You put the time in on them. Of course, stainless, you know, it's harder to sharpen and all. But if you put the time in on it, it will sharpen. Just don't put them in the dishwasher. Don't put them in the dishwasher, whatever you do. Take and clean them all up. All my fillet pieces. Got my side fillet and my belly meats. Make sure I ain't got no skin left on and all that good stuff before I cut them up. That's all I'm doing now. Normally when I fillet them, I'll end up having a little skin left on the belly side. That's a lot of people's favorite right there, that belly meat off of the flathead. That was my daddy's favorite. I like it too myself. But that's my favorite right there. I actually like the fillet part. Have you been crabbing? No, we have not been crabbing. That's what we're waiting on, a little warmer weather. I'm ready to go though. I don't know, me and Danielle's liable to just take off one weekend and run down there. I'm wanting to. I've got some unknowns about work in the next couple weeks on some of my scheduled off days. So kind of wait and see how that plays out before I make a long trip. But I got a feeling in May at least, if I don't make it down in April, I imagine we will by May at the very least. Be down doing some saltwater stuff. Not sure if we'll be crabbing, shrimping, fishing, what, but I got a feeling we'll be somewhere in the saltwater doing something pretty soon. I'm ready to. We like it down there. Me and Danielle was talking about that yesterday, about trying to figure out a way to get down there and do something. I'm gonna move this down closer again where y'all can see. Hopefully, get out of the way. Where y'all can see how I'm cutting this fish up. Maybe y'all can see it pretty good right there. That's our flathead belly meat right there. Y'all can see how thick it is. That's probably a 8-pounder, I'd imagine. And I'm just coming here. And some people, you'll see them take this skin off the inside. I don't take that off. Do we freeze crab meat? We do. We will freeze crab. I'll freeze crab, oysters, anything. A lot of our viewers don't know this, but I grew up in the seafood industry. Uh, Grew up running shrimp boats and oystering in the wintertime. So all your seafood, crab, shrimp, all your saltwater fish and stuff, I'm very familiar with. Yeah, we're North Louisiana natives, but my mom was from Mobile, Alabama, and when I was younger, we moved from North Louisiana to Mobile for a few years, and I moved back when I was 17 to North Louisiana to our home place. But my dad had a couple shrimp boats, and I grew up on those shrimp boats. So by the time I was 15 years old, I was running those shrimp boats and did that until I was 17. Y'all can see that right there. I just take and cut it in a couple pieces across the grain, and that's it. I thought I felt a bone in that one. I did feel a bone in that one. I missed that bone, y'all. That's pretty unlike me. Let's do it again. But I run those shrimp boats enough, and in the wintertime, shrimping seasonal. You got about 6 months out of the year you're shrimping, and it's so seasonal that in the wintertime we had to do something, so we oystered to offset income in the wintertime. We oystered. So, yes, crab meat. We ended up saving a lot of crab meat. We'd freeze it. We'd either, best thing to do, go ahead and shell it out, clean it out, and you can either vacuum seal it. Now that's what I would do with it, is vacuum seal it, or you can get those containers and you can put it in those containers and freeze it. But me and Danielle last year, we did that with some crab. We actually vacuum sealed the whole crabs. We boiled them and cleaned them, to pop the shell off of them and vacuum sealed them like that, and we would save those for gumbo and stuff. And later on, we would come back and use those to put in our gumbo, and it worked. It worked okay. Few of them poked holes in the bags, so we ain't worked all the kinks out of it, but it's definitely a thing to look at to do there, for sure. Now I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can answer this question. I'm not sure myself. Y'all see how this fillet right here? Like every once in a while, when you ice down a channel cat, and not a channel cat, a flathead, and you clean him the next day or something, the meat will almost, I call it exploding. The meat will do like that right there. I have no idea why that meat does that. Curious what that comment, I read part of that about the wet rag. It said something about a tattoo. That comment's got to come back up. YouTube's killing me with this time restraint on these comments. Long lasting results. Okay, I'm not sure what that was. That's a spam bot. Yeah, it must be something about a tattoo. We ain't tattooing right now. About the only tattooing we're gonna do here is tattoo some cornmeal on the side of these fillets. Bet they don't know nothing about that, where they come from. If they do, it was at Captain D's. Or Long John silvers, maybe. Ain't seen one of them in a while. Used to be a bunch of those. They about fell off the map. I know Mississippi used to have some Long John silvers. I think there was one over around Vicksburg or Jackson or somewhere over there. It used to be. Not sure if it's still open or not. More bots and trolls. I don't know what the world, like, it just don't make no sense to me why people ain't got nothing better to do with their time but than to get online, whether it be Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is, and harass other people, because that's all they do. But they ain't got much life. Do we bleed any of our fish? Yes, I do. The big flatheads. It's not something I do every time because we're trimming it anyways, you know. These smaller ones like this, there ain't no need in bleeding that fish. It's just not going to taste bad. But if they, you know, if they hit 25 plus pounds, we'll bleed them. It'll take some of that red out of there. And if you don't do that with them bigger ones or trim it all the way out, it's going to taste funny. You know, them like that, you ain't really got to trim that. We'll trim it slightly, but I'm not taking as big a trim cut out of it. It looks a little red, but it ain't big enough for that red meat in them to taste bad yet. It just don't have that bad taste to it. If they over 10 pounds or so, yeah, I go to trimming them pretty good, and especially them over 20. You know, 30 plus pounders we don't want nothing, but I'll take this side red and everything off of any of them that big. But these this small, I don't worry about it. I just ain't never had none like this small that tasted bad. I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I've only ever had Oakley, get out of that. I've only ever had 2 catfish in my entire life that tasted bad. And what it was, we were hand fishing, noodling. What about that? Y'all think a video on that would be any good? That's something else we used to do a lot that I hadn't done in several years. We've been talking about doing a video on that too. But we used to do a lot of hand fishing, and one June we caught 2 30-pounders in the same hole. And I took one of them, and a buddy of mine that was with me took one of them home. And I don't know why, but both of them fish we couldn't eat. And, you know, I take care of my fish. They weren't left out, nothing like that. They just had they tasted like you was eating mud out of the bottom of the lake. And I've never had a flathead taste bad like that until that day, and I've never had one since that tasted like that. So we're still to this day, and we had other fish that day too, and they were fine. It wasn't the lake, it was those 2 fish for some reason in the same hole. Just was horrible tasting. We ended up ruining a bunch of fish because we had cut it up like this and mixed it together, and you couldn't figure out which bags had it and which bags didn't. And we ended up had to discard a bunch of that fish because you just couldn't eat it. Could not eat it. What y'all think on the hand fishing, noodling? Y'all think we should do one of those videos? How many people want to see Danielle catch one hand fishing? About a 30-pound flathead. And she has actually caught them before, y'all. She caught a 42-pounder here in the lake years ago. We got pictures of it somewhere. She caught a 42-pounder. Y'all check that out. That's the end game right there. That's what it's all about. Never seen the hand fishing? Oh, there's plenty of videos online about that. Ours will probably be a little different. Most of them, most of them you see, most of them you see is gonna be trying to get attention. The way they dress, but don't imagine you're gonna be seeing that on our channel. That's just the way it is. Scared of big fish? I'm not scared of them. Just, I don't know. I tell you, really, the only reason we really quit doing that is because well, we kind of slowed down on that, quit doing it because so many people started doing it. That's really the only reason. I run out of Ziploc bags. Hand fishing can be scary. A lot of the places that we catch catfish is out from under like concrete boat ramps and stuff. And those big fish, I got a buddy that's bigger than me. He used to go with me some. He's bigger than me and stronger than me. He got pinned under the water by one. And he said he done started sucking water and done got water in his lungs and all that. I wasn't with him that day, but it was a really close call. He got his hand in one's mouth and it lodged against the side of it. And grabbing catfish with live scope footage. Now there's an idea. See, that's what I'm talking about with the comments, because sometimes y'all think about stuff that we don't think about, and that might be something that's never, that might be something we could actually do. I don't know what kind of footage it would be, because I just don't know, but you would definitely see some of the struggle and all under the water, depending on who's maneuvering the live scope and all of that. But I can't say that I've ever seen that on a video. That might be something interesting. Maybe something we could try. Definitely could try it. Yeah, we might could try that. I'll write that one down. We'll think on that one. Y'all give me just a second. I'm gonna be right back. Look here, I'm empty. I gotta go get some Ziploc bags. I will be right back. We've got a few more things we was thinking about doing with live scope too. We've recently started catching some channel cats. Oh, Josh Jones did it, yeah. You had to figure somebody like him already done it. Beat us to the punch. I have not seen that video if he did. Have not seen it at all. Bet it would be interesting though. I have seen some video of people like live or live scope under the water, people under the water. Good evening, John. Caught us at the last minute. About got them put up now. Been putting up these fish, getting them ready for the freezer. Yeah, that's something we had to look at doing some. I don't know. And I do know, just being honest with y'all, we do some live scoping. We do a lot of fishing and stuff, and we know that the struggle is real in the live scope world on the fishing end. A lot of people don't like watching the live scope videos, and we struggle with making those videos. It's part of what we do. Only one bag, I hear you. The part of it we struggle with is our live scope screen, the 126 SV, does not record. It was a higher end screen at the time, touch screen, state of the art, whole 9 yards. For whatever reason, Garmin did not make it recordable. So the only way to record it is like we do with a phone external. And we have tried everything under the sun to try to make the footage better for y'all, and we've pretty much failed at it. So try to do the best we can to get as much of the other action as possible and in those shots. And yeah, that's gonna probably be a Sunday's video, is crappie fishing. We had some good trips a week ago, real good trips, and don't want to ruin the surprise too much, but we had some good trips. Y'all seen that, some of the fish we dressed, some of the fish cleaning videos and stuff. So asking about putting the water in the fish. I'll put a little bit of water in there like that, kind of move those fillets around, let all that air come up to the top, go to closing that Ziploc bag off, get it almost over to here, almost closed. It's not quite all the way closed. And then I'll go to pushing that air and water, get all that air out, let it come to the top, push as much of that water as I can back out of that bag, and then seal it right there. When I seal it right there, that's it for us. That's how we package our fish. So there is water in it, but it's very little water. It's not a lot of water in it. All we're trying to do is get the air out of it so it don't freeze or burn. That's it. 98 people. Be nice if we hit 100. We got 98 people on there. Get 2 more, we'll be done hit 100. Look there, we hit 100. So we did hit 100 today. Yep, we'll get almost all that water out of there. Like I said, run it air up to the top, seal it off right there. What was you talking about? Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Talking about how I'm doing the bags or the fish. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the most efficient, most effective way to package your fish. Commercial fishermen have been doing this for years, y'all. Yeah, if you're gonna eat it in a week or two, ain't no need putting no water in it. You know, if I knew we was gonna eat this, but we got fish, you know, a little bit in the freezer from a couple weeks ago, and probably eat it first. This might, you know, if I didn't do this, it would get looked over, and we'd leave it in the freezer for too long or something, and it'd be freezer burned and ruined. You know, once it freezer burns, that's a wrap. You can't get that taste off of it. So that's it in a nutshell. Put just a little bit of water, and it's not the water that hurts it; it's the chlorine in the water. You know that'll kill the flavor of the meat and stuff. It's not the water itself. yourself. If you put bottled water or purified or spring water, I don't know, maybe somebody will answer that a little better than I can. It'd probably be just fine. Probably be way better than this tap water that I'm using. But I've done this for years, and that's just the way I've done it. Y'all can see the water coming out of there. Oakley? Yeah, Oakley's right here. She ain't going nowhere. She's right there. You know that. Oakley's like a third hip. You want a water hose? Want some water? I know you want to get in it. I'm surprised she ain't playing in it. Do you eat garfish? Yeah, we eat garfish. We've got some videos on eating garfish and like gar recipes and stuff. We want to actually do a video targeting gar, and probably are later this summer when the water drops out some. Right now it's pretty high. We've been catching a few gar in the hoop nets, but I don't think you'd want to eat them. Y'all know them jokers in a hoop net's just gonna stick their head through it and cause all kind of trouble. We try to steer clear of that in the videos a good bit. If we was live, and we would run hoop nets live if we had signal down there. We would do a live. I wouldn't be afraid to do that. It is what it is. But yeah, we ain't got no signal where we run our nets and stuff. We do on the lake, and we've tested some lives over there. Are gar eggs poisonous? I've heard they are. I don't fool with no gar eggs or nothing like that. Yeah, I don't know much about that. I don't want to say too much about that either because I don't want to get nobody in a bind, but I've heard they're poisonous. I know they look different, you know. Same thing with our little channel cats. Y'all check that out. Got those. I should have just not even froze those. Colin's answering that, I think, on the gar eggs. It's got some kind of acid in it. Did you say that's the best bag for the whole fryers, or what is the best bag? I don't know if you was asking a question or you was saying that's the best bag. That's just a quart Ziplocs, what I'm using. But yeah, they work great. You can put, I got 6 in that one. Y'all can see that's little whole fries. Fiddlers, some people call them. That's what they call them up in Arkansas. That's one of my favorites right there. Said that is the best bag. Okay, I got you. Make a mushroom hunting video. You know, if I made a mushroom hunting video, I would lead somebody in the wrong direction. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Strictly because I'm not like a expert mushroom person. I would have to do a ton of research. Oh, you're saying that's the best bag on the table. Yeah, I agree. That's hard beat right there. You got it all in that one. Can't say I throw the belly meats away on them either. No, if I did mushrooms, you know, the first year I ever turkey hunted Missouri, we went up there and walked all over those morel mushrooms. I'm telling y'all, in mushroom season, they got a season up there. It was open because there was people there mushrooming. We didn't know what they was doing. Me and a buddy of mine, it was mushrooms everywhere. We walked all over them things. And then we come back to the hotel and there's people sitting around frying them up. And I'm like, Starlink has a mini. So what is the mini gonna do? What do you tell me on the? I'm gonna have to check on that. I don't know. Like, you talking about the take with you, like a kind of like a tailgater. Hey Mike, thank you Mike. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the Yes, it's portable mini receiver. So it's like for camping or whatever. So you could take it. That may be what I need in my shop. That's why I'm struggling on the lives. Got this shop. Y'all see the shop right out here. Um, Anybody got any suggestions on the Starlink? We have Starlink. That's what I'm running off of right now. This far from the house, but the shop, it's got that 10 on it, and my signal don't go through that 10, so it does a little bit. So what we're wondering, can we put a booster in there to boost our signal from inside the house off of our Starlink? So that's what I'm trying to work on, where I can get in there and do lives on the taxidermy stuff and the tying jigs. My jig tying station's here in the shop and that kind of stuff. Do that on rainy days. We could go live tying some jigs and put it in some videos and stuff. But yeah, I want to get back to that. I've been making some jig heads. I just hadn't tied any in a while. I, the fly fishing for brim, that's something I might do this year. I used to fly fish a lot. I've got a lot of experience fly fishing back in my younger days. Thank you, Mike. Glad you enjoy that. Yeah, we fly fish. I used to fly fish a lot for brim. That's my. Let me move this up. I ain't got to bend down a little bit. Move that a little bit closer. Yeah, I fly fished a lot when I was younger. Bass and brim. Enjoyed it. Hadn't done it in years, and that may be something that comes back to the channel too. Been thinking about it especially since we kayak fish a lot. We fish a lot of shallow water kayak fishing, and for whatever reason the videos don't do great. The brim do okay, but the crappie fishing, shallow water and stuff, we just hadn't done that great on those videos. I'd like for them to pull more views than they're pulling. And I don't know, it may be something I experiment with. We may try a fly fishing video, but that's very easy to do out of a kayak or like we're fishing. So, yeah. Or we may do it wading this year instead of in the kayak, getting some of that shallow water and crappie fish, do some wade fishing videos and maybe some wade fishing fly fishing or something. I don't know. We're gonna change it up. We're gonna do some different stuff. Y'all got some suggestions? Y'all can let me know too. But we'll try to keep it changed up a little bit from time to time. Some of it's gonna be the same stuff we always do. But great way to find brim beds with a fly rod. Yeah, our problem here is just a lot of places we brim fish. You got these cypress trees everywhere, and it's hard to. It's Thank you, Death Dealer. Ain't seen you in a while. Appreciate it. Yeah, we it's hard to get a fly rod and fish around these cypress trees. Cause a lot of times they're bedded up under the cypress limbs and stuff. So, but that's something I'm thinking about. I got some places I can fly fish. We got some sloughs and stuff when the river falls out that we fish. You'll see some of our kayak fishing videos and some of them, and it don't have a lot of. It'll be shallow and it's not a lot of overhang. Like you got a lot of dead snags and stuff in there, and I can fly fish. And I'm telling y'all, like those bass and brim and crappie, anything in there that hits the top of the water, they're gonna nail it. So I I think I could go in there and shoot some pretty good fly fishing videos, maybe some great ones. Just had to see on that one. But that is something I've been thinking about ordering me a fly rod here lately, just to start doing some brim fishing and stuff. Well, y'all look at here. I'm gonna show y'all this, and I'm gonna get off here, put this up. I got some other things to do. Got to work tonight. Three. We got 8. Yeah, look at that. 8-quart Ziploc bags right there of fillets on this little fish cleaning deal today from the last. We didn't catch a lot. This wasn't a good net run for us at all. We had several nets that didn't even had one One that didn't have nothing, one that had one blue. Like we didn't have a good net run. We only got 6 nets out. We changed it up a little bit, moved one of them for some, try to catch some buffalo off of a sandbar. We'll see what happens with that. How do you cut big cats? Oh, we got plenty of videos here on the channel. So when I close a live on the cutting up, I actually showed in this live how we cut up these flatheads and stuff. But there's plenty of videos here on cleaning fish and cutting them up. Oh, you're saying it is a tool? Yeah, it's a tool for anybody that wants to learn, for sure. But yeah, I've tried to do some of those little educational type videos, and I really didn't expect them to do as good as they've done. Those videos pull a lot of views, so appreciate the guys checking those out. Look, that's going to be it for this one. Y'all be sure to hit the thumbs up before you leave. Share it to your buddies. Like, subscribe if you hadn't already. God's Country Hunting and Fishing, keeping it real.